How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today as we will dive into the Kansas City Chiefs injury report and kind of give you a breakdown going into Week 7 versus the AFC West divisional rival in the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, as we know, the big caveat, and I know that you guys are just wanting to hear it right away, so I'm going to get it out of the way. Obviously, Josh Simmons, the Kansas City Chiefs' first-round pick from the 2025 NFL Draft, has been ruled out against the Las Vegas Raiders, which will mark the second week in a row that he will not be on the field. Now, I understand how this could frustrate some people, but also have some concern with how things have gone, especially on the offensive line, because Josh Simmons, he was brought into this franchise to be that hopefully saving grace in that left tackle spot. Unfortunately, though, due to some personal reasons, he will be sidelined. And in that case, Jalen Moore will step up. And I find it kind of like not really a problem. I know some people could see Jalen Moore stepping into the spot of Josh Simmons as like, oh, the plan B option. You got to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that the Kansas City Chiefs dished out the most money this season to a free agent. It was Jalen Moore. And he has a veteran experience, former San Francisco 49er. He had a very strong game in his first start with the Kansas City Chiefs last week against the Detroit Lions. I think that there's a whole lot of, there's a lot of areas where it's kind of like, I personally think that they're going to be okay. I think that Josh Simmons, wish you the best and hope that all is well. But Chiefs Kingdom shouldn't be ashamed to see Jalen Moore suit up and hit that starting offensive line. Additionally, of the injury report, we've got Brashard Smith. He did not play on Wednesday, but he did have full participation on Thursday and Friday. He has no unspecified game status, so I would like to say that he's going to be good to go. Hollywood Brown, he has got that Achilles problem. He had full participation. And what could be, we're about to see something. The Kansas City Chiefs fans are about to see something that they've never seen before since Xavier Worthy's been drafted, bringing in Rashee Rice, who is back in Week 7, hopefully to make a statement against the Las Vegas Raiders. Paired with Hollywood Brown, paired with Xavier Worthy, something that has yet to be seen. And I think that it will be, an up-climbing steep for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think it's going to be really, really good. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to utilize his wide receiving options well. I think that Hollywood Brown, I think that his veteran leadership, he's going to be a strong asset. And then you got the two speed threats in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. I'm excited to see what happens. Charles Omenihu, defensive end, an ankle injury. He had a full participation from Wednesday to Thursday, which is always a good sign. Nico Remigio, wide receiver with a thumb injury. Once again, full participation. Status should be good. Jawaan Taylor is unspecified. He had full participation throughout the entirety of the practices. His knee has been problemsome, but it's likely, at least I would make the prediction that if Josh Simmons is out with Jalen Moore stepping into that role, it's going to have to be very important to get Jawaan Taylor to stay there and to stay on the field, regardless of him not being able to, I guess, leading the league or really rather with the franchise in penalties. But he's coming off a strong game. I think that things have gone well. Kansas City can only build off of their momentum that they've got right now, even with Josh Simmons sidelined. Xavier Worthy's shoulder and ankle had full participation, but he is still a player to keep an eye on, as I have noted. It is important that he does stay healthy, and it's important that he finds a way to, have a pretty big game against the Raiders in a game which really could be talked about for a while of what has been the season turnaround for Kansas City, assuming that they win against a long-term rival. Also, Rashee Rice, full participation. He's excited to be back. Jerry Tillery, an elbow injury. He had full participation on Thursday and Friday. But all in all, folks, the Kansas City Chiefs, this was an issue that kind of held them back last season of, injuries and, the offensive line. It could pose some issues and some concern, seeing how poorly they performed last season and being the whole reason that they went out to sign guys like Jalen Moore, to sign guys or to bring in Josh Simmons. It's important that these guys find a way to stay healthy and on the field, because with the assets coming back in Rashee Rice being added to the trio, or the duo rather, of Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, it's, a lot of things are moving in the right direction, and you don't want something to be stepped back and kind of holding them back. Going into this game, I have full confidence that the momentum is going to be on the Chiefs' side. I think that it's going to be incredibly on the Chiefs' side. Not only do they have a chance to get over 500 record for the first time this season, but they can also bring themselves back even in AFC West division matchups this season, since they lost to the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1. And Rashee Rice is going to be a key asset for that. So big takeaways from the injury report going into Sunday's game is that just because Josh Simmons is not playing does not mean that you can count out Jalen Moore. He is a very skilled offensive lineman, and I wouldn't be concerned, especially going into this game against the Raiders, a team that has looked, on paper they look good, but recently they have not been stepping up to the plate, so to say, even though they did just come off of a victory in week 6. And on top of that, keep an eye on Xavier Worthy, keep an eye on Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown. I think all in all, Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to win this ball game. And I think it's going to be something that is going to be a turning point for the season. With that being said, though, folks, be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs while we lead into Week 7, as well as throughout the rest of the regular season. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI. Everything gets posted there. Columns, opinions, game threads, interviews, podcasts, you name it. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, folks, remember, be kind to one another, and I will see you tomorrow with the 3 storylines to keep an eye on.